and just unmute a few of you here. Let's see. Okay. All right. Welcome everyone to another edition of Fired Up, a special educational series put on by the Art Alliance for Contemporary Glass. Just a reminder that you can find all of our previous recordings on the Art Alliance YouTube channel. So go ahead and give a search on there if you've missed anything in the past. Today, we're really thrilled to have the Ferro Brothers with us live from Italy. And we're going to be having a few people helping out on the talk today. We have Monica Cavaletto, who's going to be assisting in translation. And we have Mary Childs and Duncan McClellan from Duncan McClellan Gallery, who represent the Ferro Brothers and will also be helping us out. If you have questions as we go along, please be sure to put them in the chat room and we'll get to those as we can. And we're also going to put a catalog of available works in the chat as well. So you can look there for that link and look at that as the program is ongoing. So now I would like to hand things off to Duncan. He's going to say a few words for us and then kick things off to the Ferro Brothers. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Buonasera. We're pretty excited about having the Ferro Brothers. When they came to visit our gallery, they did great demonstrations. We had a great exhibition, and it's really nice to see them again. So welcome, Riccardo and Pietro. Monica, thanks for helping us out today. We hope that you can come visit us again soon. They're amazing artists. When they're working, it looks effortless. And I know it's anything but. So at this point, I'd like everyone to get to know them a little better. So Pietro and Riccardo, take it away. So if you'll start the presentation, that will be great.
Oops. Good morning. It's a big pleasure for us to be part of this event. Thank you, AACG and the Duncan McClellan Gallery for this. And thank you to all the people are connected.
Sorry.
It's okay? Yes. It's our duty to start our presentation with the most important person of our life and for our work history, our father. He started work for a young age in a family factory where he specialized in the cold working of glass, and especially in the processes of two-color and overlaying glass, making artistic glasses with Arabic style. My brother and I started to follow him and his work from a very young age, and sometimes to help him in the studio for the small work. This has created in us a very big passion for this art. Our father wants us to understand all the process of glass, and that why for the first year of our story of glass, of work, we worked for in hot the hot glass in some Murano factory. But soon we heard the call of co-working. For this fashionable art. In 1995, Pietro started to work with my father. Here, he had his first contact with many international renowned artists and learned the art of woodworking. In 1999, after our father arrived to retirement age, he decided to open a studio for the family, for us, where we co-work for all the artists who needed co-work processing. There are many artists and designers being passed for our studio. Lino Tagliapietra, Monica and Philip Baldwin, Davide Salvatore, Pino Signoretto, and many big factories in Murano, Benini, Barovietoso, Seguso. Here we learn a lot. Often we didn't have the precise line, and we can give all our idea of co-work. And in this, I want to give my special thanks to Davide Salvatore. Our collaboration with him has made us grow a lot. We experiment with him very complicated work, giant, a very complicated, bigger work, and give us the opportunity to travel, work, and teach in the world. Get to grow a lot of people related to glass. We teach in Pilsak, in Corning, and we make travel in many places in the USA, in Florida, in Chicago, in Seattle. We turn a lot. This travel open our mind and the desire to create our art line. We take inspiration to our father old work, modifying, evolving the style of working, of the various layers of glass, and create our identification style. This is our first solo exhibition in Murano, where we exhibit our idea of evolution. The name of the exhibition is The Evolution of the Tradition. The transition from work the surface of glass to search for the inner soul of the piece. Our work are the result of continued improvisation. Working on the layer of color doesn't allow errors. Come si dice? Mistake. Arriving at the interior color, we have the 5 millimeter, and we have the possibility to lose the work because it's possible broken. And this increases when there are many layers in the piece. Like to create our work always different, inspired by daily life, the mountain, the lagoon, and to the sensation that the glass transmits to us. I hope now I wanted to give a special thanks to every person love our work and will love our work. A big thanks. Thank you.
Bravo, Riccardo.
Thank you, Riccardo. We have just a quick question I'd like to throw in. Someone is asking whether you outline on the glass the picture of what you want to cut before you start engraving.
No, because when you work the piece with so much layer of color, is impossible design the precise design.
Okay.
The layer change every day in every piece, and it is impossible to start with the idea and finish with this idea. When you work, you change the view of the final projection.
And I think that we saw a slide just prior, Mary. It looked like an installation of a number of pieces. Yeah. Is that a grouping that is being shown somewhere, or is that a gallery shot? What inspired that installation?
Mettami una mano, Monica.
Chiede che cosa è stato ispirarvi questo tipo di installazione e dove è stata messa per la prima volta.
This installation is in the first solo exhibition in Murano, and after we make another one in another exhibition in Florida to Duncan Gallery, and inspired to the lagoon, to the seaweed.
Wow.
The movement of the seaweed in the water.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mary, we can continue now, please.
Now, if you want, Pietro show you a small demo of one piece.
Of course, this will be live. It's not that.
Yeah, live.
Do you want to see it on the in the studio, or do you want to see this piece being demonstrated?
Want to show 5 minutes of Pietro after we go to our studio and show you the piece? It's okay?
Sure, absolutely.
This piece is great for
This was the first inspiration for this kind of piece called the Mimosa was because a customer and friend of Pietro and Riccardo asked for a piece, a gift for his wife, and since she born on the 8th of March, which is the International Women's Day, so they decided to do something with yellow color. And of course, it's the yellow color, it's the last one, it's the last layer. So to discover it, you have to engrave the whole surface of the piece. And it's outside transparent, black, and then yellow. So now Pietro is doing some of the small dots which are giving the sketch, the drawing, the pattern of the vase, of the surface of the vase, and is using a small diamond wheel which is around 1 centimeter diameter, and then is polishing part of the piece of the yellow color, of the yellow layers. And it's very difficult, and also it has to be very precise. Otherwise, you will really have to throw the piece away because you don't have the perfect effect of the surface. So it's a long work, very, very long. I guess that probably by seeing an unfinished piece and you see the thickness of the vase, of the object, you can better understand what they are really doing, because it's a really hard artwork. And to be so precise, so patient, you really have to have patience to do that.
In our piece, we use only very fine grain because we don't want the aggressive grain. Because the aggressive grain creates the mistake, and the fine grain is better because it's long process, but in the end the piece is perfect. It's very clear.
And Riccardo, how many layers of color are you typically working with on each piece?
Depends. We start with 2 colors in the past, and now we arrive at 6 colors inside in one piece. More color you put in the piece, and more is difficult because the layer inside is very, very thin. Thin.
Yeah.
And do you have to apply a different type of grit or wheel to the facets that you're creating, or do you go and create the pattern just one time, or do you have to go back and to go with a different wheel to polish the pattern?
No, devi andare con cose differenti, però.
Yes, we start with the diamond wheel, very fine, and now we arrive to polish using the purple wheel, and It's necessary 7, 8 steps for polish the piece. And this is
And of course,
is very difficult now.
and of course, different diamond wheels, depending on what you want to obtain, and different wheels to polish. So it's really 8 to 10 steps, 8 to 10 different kind of wheels.
Sì, vedi che adesso praticamente noi siamo arrivati a lucidare i pezzi e ogni pezzo praticamente adesso ha, al posto di 2 giorni, 3 giorni, comincia ad avere una settimana di tempo.
So now that they worked on so many layers, and they started also to polish some part of the pieces, of course, instead of taking 2 days of work, it takes 1 week. So it's a very long process.
And someone is also asking, who blows the glass vessels that you're carving?
Se tu soffi anche il pezzo.
My father in the past wanted one of the song is the blower and one is the engraving. But we love this work. Sometimes when we go to a factory of the friends, we blow because we love every part of the glass, the processing of the glass. We create some piece, but we prefer go in the factory with the big master and order our piece with the shape and the color we decide, and after coming in our studio and create our work.
But they are very humble in this thing, because I don't know if you are aware, but every year for Saint Nicolaus, which is the protector of glass workers here in Murano, there is a big exhibition, and all glass masters give a piece for this exhibition, and then there will be an auction about the pieces. And last year, they created and blow themselves the pieces, some transparent pieces, and they engraved. So they did the pieces from the very first step, from the fused glass to the engraving. Yeah. So they are very humble, but they can do everything.
All right, thank you.
Clear is better when you have a good master blow for us, because the layer, if is perfect, is more easy for us arrive to our idea.
All right, thank you. Mary, I think we can continue now.
Dimostriamo i vasi.
No, pensavo se dimostriamo il vaso, poi o vuole finirla.
Tanto viene di qua.
Ah.
So now I want to show you the piece Pietro working. We have a finished piece.
Lo faccio io con i miei.
This is the serious mimosa. Clear, every day is Same, but it's different. Just one. No.
Because even if they are working in the same color combination, they never do the same piece. So each piece is a one of a kind.
And how young were they when they started working in glass?
I started when I have 15 years. 15 years, yes. And Pietro too. We go to the school, but we don't like study. My father prefer we start to work, and me too. I prefer a good master, a good worker of a bad student. And it's better if I study the past for my English.
And could we get a little bit closer of a view of the glass that's on the shelves behind you? Maybe pick up a few more pieces for us, or just get a little bit closer with the camera.
Look, I want to show you the process of the piece when I arrived here. This is the glass when we order.
This is the glass. When it arrived here,
It's very simple for form.
but as you can see, here you find the different layers. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We want the shape of the piece very simple because we don't want the people connect our ship to a master blower. We like the people know only our work. This is the same color now you see.
As the same color as the one you saw as the raw piece, and this is a finished piece.
We remove part of color, create a two different line. And in the last piece, we like polish one part because the people can enter in the piece. We arrive to the limit of glass. It's very, very, very thin.
How many layers are in that piece?
6.
Why don't you show them for a sec?
Yes, in the last order, we love polish everything and create this effect, three-dimensional effect. You can enter inside and see.
You can see through it.
The desk of the piece.
And how much weight did you say you took off of the glass as you're carving away?
Quanto peso togliete?
A lot. We arrive normal one piece start 5 kilo, and when it's finished, we arrive 1 kilo. We remove a lot of glass.
What is the largest piece that you have made, and is it on display somewhere or is it in a private collection?
Qual è il pezzo più grande che avete fatto? E se È qui oppure è in qualche collezione privata?
The bigger piece we make is the IGA.
So this seaweeds.
Yeah. This is the bigger piece we make. But the bigger piece we make in the base is this.
So that's the lace. This kind of vase has been called lace as a tribute to the people of Murano, because Murano is very well known for Benedetto, for the laces.
Abbiamo un problema noi con le misure, dopo una certa misura di questi non possiamo andare oltre perché lo spazio della macchina non ce lo permette, però abbiamo stato vicino e qua.
So it was just explaining that sometimes you can't have bigger pieces to do this kind of work because the space for the machine, for the working tools is not enough. So it's impossible to work in such a way to obtain this kind of effect.
Perché noi lavoriamo nella vecchia maniera.
Because they are working with the old style, with the wheels, with the diamond wheels.
Pezzo in mano.
And as you can see, Pietro, they have the piece in hands. It's not told from a machine or from something else. So it's very, very difficult.
Più lungo, più faticoso, però il risultato finale
Riccardo is saying that the result, of course, is totally different. So even if you have to be very strong, because it's a very heavy piece. They are very, very heavy piece.
And the designs that we're seeing are just so incredibly intricate, and there's so many layers of color. When they are working together, are they designing together as well, or are they coming to those designs in a separate process?
Se quando fanno i disegni, cioè quando finite i pezzi, lo fate separatamente o decidete assieme?
No, we have a collaboration. Every day we speak about the piece here. It's only one the master make one piece, but every day we have a confront and
They have a confrontation.
Yeah, for the best result.
To obtain the best result, of course.
And someone mentioned also that you make glass guitars. Could you tell us a little bit about those?
Yes, this is a project. It's a crazy idea. One friend one day arrived in our studio and ordered a guitar, solid guitar, with our style. We created this guitar, but when he go home, he said me, it's impossible create a real guitar can play. And for us, nothing is possible with the glass, because we create everything. And I tried. And now I have one little collection of good, beautiful guitar. Look, this is we covered everything inside, and we arrived very, very thin.
So
It's completely carpet.
it's totally covered. It's totally empty. You see? And you can really play it.
Yeah.
I think that this, with this color, would be perfect for Lady Gaga.
Sorry.
Well, I'm trying to show you the one which is totally finished with everything and with the cord. Now probably Riccardo is able to, yeah, to take it. Again, that's the reason.
The problem for our guitar is we don't play. And it's necessary to make a two type of work. The neutral,
The one according the guitar
and the master
and the glass part, of course. Because first they have to do the glass part, then they will add the chords, but there will be another person according the guitar, the total pitches.
very difficult is the science of every dusty or every
according of every recording.
All right. So I think, Mary, we have a few more slides to show. We can go back to that now.
This is another our piece is the four board, a new type of idea we have. It's a combination of four board, total carded, 5 color, and yes, we are full of idea. We have so much idea. This is the last one we make. Is the sunrise.
Sunset.
Sunset in the lagoon.
In the lagoon, because you can see this is the part, this is the lagoon, it's a circle, it's a ring, totally carved on the upper part and on the bottom part. And this is the other part, which is of course the reflection on the water. And this again that's called the planet. Yes, this is not lighted. There is a light inside so that you see the colors. And the same style, but another size and another color. This one, which is green, again a planet. Again, the ring is totally covered.
Stiamo studiando anche dei LED da mettere dentro ai pezzi, in maniera da creare ancora un colore in più.
So they are starting to have some LED inside of the piece to lighten them up and to obtain different reflections and colors.
We love now we love a lot
Thank you, Monica and Ricardo. We're actually going to go back now to Mary. She has a few more slides that she would like to show us.
Okay.
And you can help walk us through the slideshow.
Digli che siamo specifici. Peccato averla fatta questa di sera la Spider, perché con la luce del sole sarebbe fatto molto meglio.
Ricardo was saying that if we could have the Zoom, the direct, the live, just a couple of hours before, we could have given you the right view of the pieces in the sun, which is fantastic for some of them, really.
But it's not a problem. We attend everything in our studio when you want, in the morning. We go to Pietro if we see if Pietro finish.
Now, yes, Ricardo is coming back.
Ya no versione. This is the piece Pietro made.
This was the one he was doing live, of course, not totally. It started some days ago, but this is the finish.
So this is the piece that you were working on earlier or something similar to that?
Yes. Yeah, this was the piece he was working.
Just finished.
Ah,
Beautiful.
See,
magnificent.
for this we use 7 type of wheel for polish the circle and for create this effect.
And did you plan to have that very large circle right there that as a focal point, or did that just evolve as you were working on it?
Avevi deciso di fare questo grande così oppure è stato l'evoluzione del...
No, it's the moment, the inspiration at the moment.
In the moment. Wow.
Creare la giusta, i giusti spazi su un cerchio, no?
So the difficulty here is to create the different spaces in between the different circles.
It's almost as if you're pointing, it's almost as if you're painting, you're an abstract painter and using the glass as canvas.
Yes. Ha detto state usando il vetro come se fosse una tela.
Scultore.
It's Riccardo was saying it's more like a sculpture than a painter.
Uh-huh.
Come uno scultore quando sbaglia ha perso il pezzo.
It's like Michelangelo, if he was doing something wrong, he will lost his Pietà or David, but it's the same for them.
Yes. Beautiful.
Quando ci toccano, se noi facciamo attaccare queste due, per noi il pezzo è da buttare.
Yes, if they can't create this space in between the two different dots, let's say, and it's not the right space, the piece is not perfect
For us.
for them. And of course, they threw it away.
Mhm. Dimitra, may I interrupt and introduce this one question, which someone is commenting that cutting is one thing, but polishing in between the cutting is also very difficult. And we're getting that beautiful lens quality that is transmitting the light, which is giving even more sculptural depth to the piece. And thank you, Andre, for introducing that comment.
Dice che l'otto Morcello.
Miss.
Sì, con questa luce qua si vuole.
And we
are
also
just moving.
Solamente perché vedano con un po' di luce dietro come cambia il pezzo.
So that you can see the piece with some light besides.
Beautiful. Wow.
Sì, con la luce l'ho messo per lui. No, metti.
We have another interesting question. How often do your artistic sensibilities conflict? And how do you resolve them? Are you always in agreement?
Siete sempre d'accordo se fate qualche...
Never.
They are always in conflict.
Yeah,
A competition every time.
It's a competition who is the best for us. But in the last work, we work a lot together because we spend a lot of time for one piece. It's necessary to work together.
And did you say this was inspired by lace, by the Murano lace?
It was the one inspired by lace, and it's called the Murano.
Mettiamo.
Just to change colors combination. And this one again. This part, instead of being polished, it's totally engraved.
Beautiful. Robert is asking, how do you think your father would relate to your work?
Come si confronterebbe vostro papà con il vostro lavoro?
Con un sorriso.
With a smile.
No, it's
I think he will be proud of them.
Yes.
sarebbe qui tutti i giorni anche lui, ancora. Lavorare con noi e confrontarci con queste pezzi.
And he will probably be here every day.
Qua una parte tutta lucidata con la pomice e acciaio.
This part is totally polished with cerium, and this part is totally engraved and carved.
Vedete anche se poi una testa che ci vede di casa
Possiamo uscire. Possiamo uscire.
Avete bisogno di una option. And
e l'attacco della base, abbiamo unito le due basi.
This is the grand finale here, I believe.
these are the seaweeds again, but these are just the smaller ones. The installation of two,
Yeah.
of
Okay,
just the
this-
two piece.
Questa base di tua mano.
Sì, dopo le
They
persone
were
che devono
calling them the lovers.
The two brothers, that's beautiful. George is asking, do you have a hot shop there where you blow your starting pieces?
che studiamo.
Not shop.
Nostro, no.
No, they don't have the art shop, but they do have people, glass master working for them. They explain what they want, the shape, the colors, the different layers. And then they take the piece, the unfinished piece coming out from the furnace, from the cooling oven, and they take it here and they start finishing.
So with the IGA, we have the factory of Davide Salvatore blow for
Ah.
us.
Okay.
It's
And
a
Collaboration.
collaboration. We work for him, he worked for us. And for our piece space is we go to Simone's factory, and because he have the color in the glory. For our piece, it's very necessary have the color in the glory. And now in Murano, there isn't so much factory have the color in the glory. Normal,
Use the key.
you use everything, use the cane, rolling the cane, and bring the clear glass to finish the piece.
We, of course, hoped to have you back and to St. Petersburg, and you can, use our hot shop as in a residency as soon as Italy opens up, and you can come back. Of course, Duncan, you can make the formal invite, but that will give you another opportunity. And we also have some very large kilns that you could make large pieces and anneal them in too.
So we would love to have you back. So as soon as you can, please come back.
Where you are? Where is it possible now?
All right, well, thank you both. We have just one or two final questions before we wrap up. One person is wondering if you have ever made jewelry.
Se avete mai fatto gioielli?
No, but we are open for every inspiration.
New
Come si
idea.
dice? Come si dice? Una commissione, a commission, we are
Ready.
ready.
Okay. And you also showed us some pieces earlier that were called the planet pieces. Are those pieces done entirely hot, or are they components that are glued together?
There are components, different components. So the ring and the ball, they are two different pieces.
Yeah.
It's impossible to work at one piece.
It's impossible to have a piece like that in one piece.
And someone is asking if you are related in any way to Vittorio Ferro.
Se siete parenti
No.
di Vittorio Ferro.
No,
Maybe
it's another family. Here in Murano, we are a lot of family because it's one of the first family foundation the island. Barbier and Ferro and Seguso is Moretti. Is the family in the past foundation were done.
All right, well, your work is just absolutely incredible, so intricate, really phenomenal the way that you are doing everything just freehand, without using any stencils or anything like that to help with the design process. It's just really incredible. And we appreciate you being with us today to share your process and your work. Thank you so much. Everyone, if you are interested in their work, you can reach out to Duncan and Mary, and they will be able to give you some more information. So thank you again. Really, really stunning, beautiful work.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you all.
you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Prego.
Bye, thank you, grazie.
Ciao, arrivederci, grazie.
Grazie.
Bye.
Grazie.
Ciao,
Bye.
Bros.
Thank you.
Prego.